we have the first question. Tim, I'm going to come to you for an answer for this one, please. And the first question is, what is the duration of the level 4 diploma that we spoke about today? How many hours does that diploma last for, and over what period of time should one look to study?
Thank you, Chris. In total, the professional diploma in accounting with AAT level 4 is 420 hours flexi study or 17 weeks full-time. Every student will be given 12 months to complete the full diploma. It's a self-paced flexi study program. So some students, perhaps they could complete it sooner than that. So in other words, the more you study, the quicker you complete the diploma.
Great. Thanks, Tim. Okay, we've got the same question there for level 3. So back to you, Tim, with level 3, please.
Thank you, Chris. For the level 3 advanced diploma in accounting with AAT, the duration of the course is 380 hours flexi study or 15 weeks full-time.
Wonderful, thanks. What's full-time, Tim?
Full-time, I would say something between from 5 to 8 hours per day,
okay.
Monday to Friday.
So for some people might think of 20 or 25 hours a week as part-time. In the learning environment, that would be classed as full-time. So if you wanted to study around your current part-time job, let's say, and do 4 or 5 hours a day, then you could easily do it within the period Tim has talked about. If you don't want to put that much time into it, no drama. You can spread it over a year. It's absolutely fine. And then the time commitment per day or per week is significantly less. The learning is happening all of the time, and you still get your qualification, and you can use that to progress your career. If you did take up to a year, I've already talked about the excitement of the summer, but if you did take up to a year, again, no problem. Employers love it when their candidates, when their applicants for job roles have invested in themselves. I personally love to take people on who come along and say to me, Chris, I've invested this in myself in order to prepare myself for a career here. I think it's fantastic, and employers do too. And I've lost count of the amount of people that have come back to us and said, I applied before I'd finished my diploma and I got the job because. So it's a wonderful thing to do. So thanks for that answer, Tim. Dan, I'm going to come to you, please. Can you give us the pass rate with Pitman training for our AAT diplomas at last count?
87%, Chris, which is around 2% higher than other training providers.
87, did you say?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, great. So if I'm listening to this as one of the wonderful people attending the webinar, I'm thinking, what happened to the 13% then? Can you give us an insight on why some might not finish? Dan?
Sorry, Chris, could you repeat that? I'm just having a bit of difficulty with the audio.
Oh, sure. So with 87% successfully complete, what happens to the 13%?
They don't complete, and that may be a change in circumstance. It may be that they've decided to undertake a different study program.
Okay, all right. So valid reasons often. Okay, thank you. We've got a couple more questions coming through. Give me a moment to read this one. Okay, this is a question about work experience. Danielle, could I come to you, please? Donna's asking about applying for jobs mid-study and not having the experience. What tips or advice might we be able to give for somebody who doesn't have the experience but is working through a qualification?
I think, Donna, in reference to the application, just make sure that you're really clear on your CV what you've achieved so far. Some units are really advantageous to have. So, for example, if you've completed bookkeeping transactions at level 2, make sure that that's on your CV, it's up to date, so your employer or prospective employers know the skills that you have obtained. Also, at level 2, for example, using accounting software. So if you've used a particular piece of accounting software, whether whether that be Sage, Xero, or one of a similar package. Make reference to that as well. But also, I know I was very lucky in the position, because I know we can see that the next question relates to me and job roles. So I'll try and answer both of them at the same time, if that's okay. I was very lucky in the route that I took. I was already employed. So I already had that role, and then I was able to then progress on that platform. I know it's not that easy. You could absolutely send out cover letters to local accountancy practices to see if they have an opening for some support, to see if they'll provide you with that work experience. But yeah, just be clear about the experience and the exposure that you have. And remember as well, whilst it might not be accounting work experience that you have, there are lots of other transferable skills from other job roles that you will have obtained that would be relevant too. So bear that in mind as well.
Okay, thanks very much, Danielle. There's another question just dropped in from Stacey, and I think actually I might come back to you for an answer on that one as well, if that's okay. Stacey's looking at a role as an underwriter, where the reading of accounts is necessary. So where might we be able to guide Stacey in terms of the appropriate place to start?
So if we start at the level 2 qualification, if we look at the content from that perspective, at level 2, you predominantly understand the fundamentals of bookkeeping. So what you will look at is preparation of the initial trial balance. And the initial trial balance really is that first stage of the process of preparation of those financial statements. So level 2 would be an initial trial balance. Progression up to level 3, so you'd look at an extended trial balance. So you'd look at taking that further and understanding from your level 2 studies, where do those components then sit? What financial statements do they then sit in? So that's what you'd experience at level 3. And then at level 4, it really is that exposure to financial statements. So sorry, just to go back one as well. Level 2, sole traders. Level 3, partnership accounts, final accounts for partnerships and sole traders predominantly, and then level 4 is those limited company financial statements. So that's sort of where I see that journey for you there, if that's okay.
Great, thanks, Danielle. And please do keep the questions coming in. A question I'm often asked is about how do I cover the investment for my AAT diploma? And we have a number of ways for students to be able to do that. Some will choose to cover the investment as an upfront payment. Others might choose to spread the cost, if you like, via standing order. And we do have some finance partners too who can help students with that. Look, our goal here is to help you get into a career in accounts. And we will do all we can to facilitate that. So we have partners and we have facilities to enable that to work as well as it can. So don't let the investment put you off. There's no reason why it should, especially with an offer as compelling as we've shared with you today. But if you're uncertain about how you might proceed, all you got to do is talk to us, and we're going to find a way to move forward with you. Okay. We got another question here about VAT returns and what level is required to qualify to do Hmrc VAT returns. I'm going to come back to you again, Danielle, if that's okay. So once one needs to do that on behalf of a company, where do you think which is the appropriate level to assist?
I think if we take the word of qualify out of that statement, just for the basis of the response, the knowledge and understanding of VAT or VAT returns is within level 3, so the advanced diploma in accounting. There's a standalone module in there called indirect tax, so it will obviously provide you with the knowledge component. So I'd also obviously recommend that the application of skills is vital when preparing VAT returns as well. So the knowledge component is within the level 3 module indirect tax, so that's the advanced diploma in accounting.
Sure. I'm going to come to Dan for this next one. I'm getting the private question here around levels. Somebody's saying they've got some relevant experience, and do they need to start at level 2 even though they don't have a level 2 qualification?
We need to have a personalised discussion with that prospect, I think, Chris.
Sure.
So I'd invite them to make contact with us. let us make an assessment of their current skill level and give them some really good advice on what the next steps would be. I think it's very hard without talking specifically about what that may or may not look like to be able to kind of answer this publicly.
Okay, and the answer is probably the same if somebody's done more work in the world of accounts, let's say some of the stuff that would ordinarily be included at a level 3, but wants to go on to level 4. Danielle, there's an assessment tool, isn't there, we can take advantage of with the AAT? Would you mind describing what that looks like for us?
There absolutely is. So there's the AAT skills checker. What I'll do in a second is I can always pop the link into the chat box for you to access that. It will effectively define where the skills checker sort of establishes where your current knowledge and understanding is at, and it will advise you on the most appropriate starting point for your journey.
Great. And Priyanka, I'm hoping that answered your question. If it doesn't, please type me another question into the chat box, but I'm hoping that one did cover that for you. Danielle, we're getting a question aimed at you, or for you, should I say. How long did it take you to complete your levels 2, 3, and 4 in total? Remy is saying that it's taken then 10 months so far. Is that too slow, or is that good speed?
I don't think there's any prescriptive answer to that one, in all fairness, Remy. Congratulations. You know, I think it's individualistic. And you should never compare yourself to others. You've got your own unique traits, your own unique knowledge, skills, and ability. So my journey itself, my journey was probably slightly different. I did my level 2 over roughly 12 months. I think my level 3 was over roughly 15 months, and my level 4 was closer to 18 to 24 months, I'd say, because I was working as well, and I really wanted to ensure that I'd embedded that knowledge and understanding and applied it to the workplace, because I think that's really vital. It's okay saying that I had the knowledge, but I wanted to be certain that I had the knowledge and the skills to be effective in my career. So don't be too hard on yourself. I'm sure you're doing a fantastic job. I understand, obviously, that you'd like to work through them a little quicker for various reasons, whether that be progression, career opportunities. But yeah, just be you. I'm sure you're doing fantastic.
100%. Thanks, Danielle. Can I just say thanks to Jamie, who has sent a link to the AAT skill check. If you can't see that for any reason, then we will send it to you on email immediately post this. But that skill check link has been shared by Jamie. So thank you, Jamie. And Jamie is one of Danielle's colleagues at the AAT. We have a question here from Renee. Dan, if you could answer this one, please. This is about a non-English speaker who's completed level 2 but doesn't have other GCSEs. What advice might we give them about applying for jobs?
Is this from the question and answer chat box, Chris?
Yes, you've got it.
I'm assuming that Renee's completed the level 2 AAT qualification and she doesn't have GCSE grades in the UK. I would say you need to, on your CV, really home in on what your skill and ability is, and actually I don't really think it overly matters on what your actual level of qualification is at GCSE level. Really home in your skills and experience and what your work ability is, and go from there.
Great, thanks, Dan. Tim, one of the things that we've been able to offer in this webinar only offer is that CV strategy session worth 100 quid with Glenn. Do you think that session might be able to help Rennie? How might Glenn be able to guide them?
Of course, it will help Rennie. Absolutely. I mean, Rennie can email me directly, and we can always, arrange a video call through Teams, Skype, or Zoom to talk about the next steps and how we can support it with his career plans. Okay. Absolutely, yes.
Great, sounds good. One of the things that Glenn is particularly skilled at is drawing out skills and experience relevant to the role you're applying for. So he will make your CV shine. So that strategy session is absolutely worth its weight in gold. If you think that a well-written CV could be the thing that gets you in front of the recruiter, to get you the job which pays you more than you're currently earning, you know, that job could be a 25, a 30, a 40,000 pound job that you've been able to secure, not only because you did a course with Pitman, but because we sat you down in front of Glenn and made your application stand out from all the others. That £100 CV strategy session could be worth £30,000 to you, because that could be the difference. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. All right. If you've got any final questions, please do type them into the chat box. I have got another one that dropped in privately. Tim,
Yes.
I think Dan may have mentioned it, but just remind us, when can people start if they want to study with Pitman?
People can start straight away. They're more than welcome to email me, as I said previously, directly. We can always arrange a telephone conversation, or even like a video call via Teams, Skype, or Zoom, and sit down and talk. And then you can arrange for them to start. And
at that point, I promise that we'll get the video working, so you can see Tim's face or Hazia's face, whoever you may be speaking with. So that will be fine. Okay, so that's when we can start straight away. What happens, Dan, when somebody decides to enroll with Pitman and study an AAT diploma? What happens? I mean, how do they go about getting started? What should they expect from us?
I expect a really thorough introduction with one of our learning coaches, and that obviously at the moment is being delivered virtually via Zoom or via Teams or whatever the customer's comfortable with. And obviously the learning coach is there to support, guide, motivate, encourage the student on their learning journey with us. And they can also offer advice around booking the AAT assessments with us as well, which are obviously included as part of the overall cost of the programme. So we're here. We love to talk to students and get to know their personal stories and ensure they have a great experience and get actually the outcome that they really want from studying with us as well.
Okay, sounds great. Okay, so I'm going to ask the three of you a question, and the question is this, from me to you. I guess the obvious answer is enroll on a course, but what would you encourage our attendees today, the people who've given up, invested their time in attending this webinar, what would you encourage them to think about or do next? I'll start with Danielle, if that's okay. That's
okay. Be brave, be bold. There are lots of opportunities out there at the moment. If it's a case of it's going to be your first course, you'll honestly absolutely enjoy the experience. I did. I'm so grateful that I got started, and you never know where it will lead. I think that's the beauty of it. When I first started as an accounts assistant, firstly, did I think I would progress onto my level 4, become a fellow member? Absolutely not. Did I think I'd become a teacher? No, I didn't, definitely not. And then did I think that I would be in the position that I am today working for AAT in this particular role? Never. So be brave. I'm sure you're all doing fantastic. And don't be scared to ask for that help and support as well. I know the team here at Pitman have really emphasised the support that they have available for you, and what a fantastic offer. So please engage with the support. Please, be open, honest, be brave, and good luck.
Thank you, Danielle. Before I come to Tim and Dan, we have a question from Monica, which is about the amount of time one can take to complete the level 4. Can this go beyond a year? Can it go as far as 24 months, Dan?
Tim, can I ask you to help me with that question? Is that possible for level 4, taking it up to 2 years?
It is possible, as long as the membership is valid, and we can perhaps extend it. The AAT memberships, absolutely, yes, it is.
Sure, and that can be extended. So in short, the answer is yes.
Correct.
Okay. Great, thanks guys. So I'll back to you on that bit of advice. What would you say to people who are contemplating next steps? Let's go with Tim and then to Dan. So Tim?
I strongly believe that only one person can take control of our lives, future, career path, and this is us, ourselves. So I would say that make this decision, take this lead, and make sure that you take the right steps and take an action about bringing more success in our lives.
The recruiter for the dream job is unlikely to knock on your front door, but with the tools that we can give you, they'll open the door when you knock on theirs. Great.
Absolutely.
Dan?
I think I would absolutely agree with Tim. I'd say take charge of your own destiny, create your own future, create the magic that will be your future career. And potentially the final thing I'd like to say is ask yourself in a year's time, if you hadn't have done anything today, how will you feel?